Life's a journey, right? But what if someone skipped ahead and told you the secret passages, the hidden shortcuts, and the things no one tells you about leadership, marriage, parenting, friendships, and even navigating the world of business as a Christian? I'm your host, Rakita Starks, a certified behavioral consultant and life coach. We're about to peel back the picture perfect layers and get real about the unexpected twists and hard won wisdom that comes with living a life to the fullest. Get ready for honest conversations, practical tips, and a whole lot of laughter as we explore the things that no one prepared you for, but absolutely should have. It's time for us leaders to go from good to great. Let's go. Let's grow. Hey, welcome to the What No One Told Me About podcast. This is your host, Rakita Starks. Glad to have you guys here. You know that I believe that everyone is meant to be a leader, but leadership is a learned skill. And once we're able to identify our individual strengths, talents, and skills, then we will be able to lead effectively. Well, today I'm going to be talking about self-management. Yes, self-management, y'all. What does that look like? What does it mean? Just all the things that comes with managing other people. You can't manage other people effectively and with empathy and all the things that you need to be an effective manager until you're able to manage yourself. There's no way you can manage people without managing yourself. That's just like a dictate. Like if I'm just constantly telling somebody else to do what to do or telling them, hey, you need to um, get these done in a timely fashion. You need to be disciplined in this area of your life. You need to work out. You need to eat these kind of things and all this kind of stuff. And I'm not managing what I'm putting in my mouth or my own health or the way that I work in my business. Then I'm pretty much being a hypocrite is what they call it. Right. So, and it's not just about managing what someone is doing, like not just managing results and making sure things get done. Self-management is also referred to self-control and self-regulation. So if you're able to regulate your thoughts and emotions and your behaviors in different situations, then then you are mastering self-management. Okay. But then some of us, we don't take time. Y'all, I'm going right into this. so yeah, this is just straight for the gut. Okay. I just want to get y'all straight to the point. All right. So, yeah. So when you're able to manage your emotions and your thoughts and your behaviors, then your actions are determined by your thoughts. Like things that you do starts with your thoughts and your habits. So your thoughts creates your habits. Your habits dictate your actions. All right. So we definitely need to learn to identify emotions. We need to learn to identify thoughts that are not healthy or thoughts that are healthy, the ones that we need to be feeding ourselves and the ones that we need to get rid of. What do those look like? Am I telling myself, oh man, I can't do this? Then I'm already defeating myself. That's a habit that I need to break. I need to start speaking life into myself. I need to start speaking affirmations of my life, speaking the word back into me. Like I am created in God's image. He made me wonderfully, fearfully, and wonderfully. Like I need to start living by those things and believing those things about myself so that my actions can match up to what I'm saying. So when we learn skills of managing and mining our thoughts, mining, when you go to a mine, when you look at the mining and they're digging for gold and you're going under these caves and all this kind of stuff looking for treasures or different types of metals and all this kind of stuff and diamonds. When you go into a mine, you're digging something out. I need to mind my thoughts. I need to be careful of what's planted in my head. And if it's not healthy, then I need to dig it up and throw it out. So when you're able to self-manage, I need you to learn about, 3 things about problem solving, resisting stress, communicating clearly, managing your time, and strengthening your memory and exercising. All those areas are stepping stone, are pillars of healthy self-management. Now, you know that when you come to my podcast, I'm going to talk about the human behaviors and the personality assessments: dominance, influence, steady, compliance. Okay. You know that I'm going to talk about the personalities and how that really, that is a one of the foundational parts of why people think the way they do, what they, there's certain, the actions they take, and all of those things, are based on, though, your personality type. And it's not just the personality type. I'm not going to say that's the one thing, but that's a big thing. Your personality type is determined by it's genetic, it's the role models you saw growing up, and your life experiences. Those 3 things shape the person that you've become, or the person you are. So when it comes to problem solving, we have to learn the skill of problem solving, thinking in layers. Okay, I do this, and then what? Anthony, my husband, he created a game. He talks about it on his podcast, but it's called the "And Then What?" So you come up with one thing, and then what? Then what? And you keep asking yourself, and then what, till you keep going layers and layers and layers deeper into the overarching theme or thought that you're having, or something that you're going to pursue. So when it comes to problem solving, we used to give our agents a grid, and it's a process for solving problems. And y'all can go and look one up, whatever your process is of problem solving. But the more problems you solve, the higher you get paid, the more you get paid. Okay. So you need to be solving some big problems and learning how to solve problems. If you just have a product and think, oh, I think this product is good for the market, then, and people should buy it, what problem is this product solving? And if it's a big enough problem, you can get big enough bucks. Okay. Big enough problems, big enough bucks. Y'all know that I have the prayer journals, praying my way through marriage. And marriages are failing almost at 50%. Almost 50% of, almost half of people who are getting married in America are getting divorced within the first 10 years or so. And this is not just unbelievers. This is including believers. Okay? This is not excluding believers. This is including believers who are getting divorced at almost, it said 49% of marriages are failing. And I believe that is due to, one of the biggest issues is because of missing and broken communication. And we haven't taken time to learn our spouse. Even the Bible tells you to know your wife, that part, but we need to know our husband too. But I'm just saying, your spouse, you need to learn your spouse. And we look at love languages, we look at what we have in common, the things that we like about them, the way they carry themselves, the things that they've accomplished, what type of person they are, what kind of parent they are, and all these kind of things. But we do not, I think that this needs to be included in all premarital counseling. You need to do a personality assessment. You need to do a personality assessment so that you can understand your spouse. You need to understand their triggers. You need to understand their characteristics. If you are an outgoing person and you thrive in social environments, and your spouse is a person who likes to work alone or likes to have alone time, and you getting frustrated because they want a break, or not a break, but just want their own space, then it's a misunderstanding. Like, I need to understand my spouse. He likes to have alone time sometime, and we need to create a calendar. We need to create a schedule that works around that. Okay, on Fridays from 7 to 9, or if it's during the day, whatever time that is, give your spouse that time they need to refuel themselves. Some people get fueled by themselves. Some people get fueled by being around other people. But if you don't know that about your spouse and you getting frustrated, upset, and thinking, "Oh, he don't want to be around me," or she just don't like to be around me, or she want to be alone all the time and all this kind of stuff, like, is that a problem? That this is the way that person is? Especially if they say are an only child. You have to factor all of these things in. I told you, it's genetics, life experiences, and role models growing up. Life experiences. If this is an only child, that's going to be part of it. Them like to be alone, or they have their own space. They could be territorial and things like that. But if you don't know these things going in, you're going to always find yourself frustrated. You're going to find yourself, y'all going to be missing each other. Y'all not going to be aligned. And you're going to think you're going to take it personally, which is not personal. It's just preference. This is my preference. I like to have some time alone. I like to have my own space where these things are mine. These are my things. And I don't want anyone touching them. And that's okay. That's okay. So when you learn your spouse's um style, you know that. And then if you're in conflict with another person, if you need to learn the style, if this is a steady style personality, then you need to learn how to communicate when you're in conflict. If you're just if you're aggressive in conflict with a steady style personality, then they're going to shut down. They're not hearing you, especially a steady style and a conscientious style. They're not hearing you if you're aggressive. They have stopped hearing you, and now you're attacking them. And then, especially the conscientious style, now they're going to attack back, and it's going to be personal. Okay. But when you learn these things, and you learn the personality style, and you learn how to communicate in conflict, you learn how to solve problems. You know, okay, if I know that my spouse is he leads with a D style. So I know his greatest fear, we don't want to call it a fear. Well, okay, this is what it's called. A greatest fear would be taken advantage of. So that's why the D style likes to be in control, or likes to be the head or creator, or the lead on something. So if I know that he don't want to be taken advantage of, and I'm a manipulative person, or I say things to try to get my way, or when he doesn't do things that I want him to do, then of course we're going to continuously butt heads. Or if we're both very strong-headed, like if we're both strong-headed and uh we both have some D style in us. We all have all the fourth styles in us, but some have higher levels than others. But if we both have high levels of D in us, then we both like to be in control, and we both need to have something that we control. So if you control this area, then I need to have my own autonomy. Autonomy is going to be important in a D style relationship. You can't, like, I don't want to have to keep track of you, tabs on you, and you keep tabs on me. Like, We need to have our own level of autonomy and trust. But if that doesn't exist, then you're going to be butting heads and you're going to be missing one another. But okay, I'm telling y'all, if y'all learn the personality style of your spouse, we can really reform marriages. Reform marriages, establish them, renew them, and heal marriages. All right. Let me just give y'all a few tips because I want to make this practical. A few tips on resolving conflict. There's going to be a few tips on resolving conflict based on the personality styles. And if you go back to a few episodes, probably around the first or so, you'll find a podcast episode where I'm talking about the personality styles and I give breakdowns of each one and all that kind of stuff. And make sure that you go and take your own personality assessment so that you can identify yours and then have your spouse take one as well. It's very useful. It's going to be very helpful for you, not just if you're married. This is for you if you're single too. You need to know this in singlehood. You need to know this in your friendships. You need to know what kind of people you're hanging around. Because once you can see this and you're able to understand people, this will lower so much frustration in your life, so much stress. And you'll be able to manage yourself and manage your emotions more effectively. If I know that um, um, if I know that my personality style is that I struggle with following through on commitments, because one of the personality styles struggle with following through on commitments. I'm gonna let y'all find out which one it is. If I struggle with that, then I'm gonna have a hard time managing myself and managing my business, managing my children, managing my life, my team, whoever is around me. I'm going to have a problem with doing that if I have a problem with doing that myself. So, yeah, like I told y'all, this the way that you manage yourself is by knowing yourself. Self-awareness is something that we kind of overlook. We talk about self-care, we talk about, taking yourself out, being mindful, and make sure that you're serving or helping the people and all this kind of stuff. But you cannot serve from an empty cup. You have to be overflowing. Stop serving on E. Stop serving on E, y'all. We have to fill up and we need to be aware of what fills us up. And once you're able to identify what fills you up, and it's more than just knowing, hey, my favorite color is blue. I like to hang, I'm an extrovert. It's more than I like to be in teams. It's more than that. It's more than that. And we just need to know it. We need to know it. We need to be very aware of who we are to be able to manage who we are. So, dominant people, driven, decisive, direct. Only 3% of people in the world are these people who lead with the D style, have high levels of D in them. And they're self-starters, they're risk takers. They are goal-oriented and competitive. That's why you find a lot of them in entrepreneurial roles, because their mind is made up. Decisive. If people need help solving problems, these are the people they come to. So if you are struggling with being a problem solver, then this is an area of your life that you need to enhance and increase. I need to turn up my D style. Every situation is going to require a different level of you. You need to learn how to be a chameleon. If you can become even level in each area of the personality assessment, if you can learn how to become if you learn how to equalize your dominance, your influence, your steady, and your compliance, then you can be effective, or you can be more effective in many scenarios, and you would be a beast. Lioness, or as my husband call them, jungle lions. Jungle lions are able to adapt in any situation. The only way you're able to adapt in any situation is to become even level in each personality trait. Okay, because like I said, we're all made in God's image, right? And He has all of these traits in him. He has way more than this, but it's just like when I understood DISC and I could just see what who God is in different areas, how He was a creator, how He everything on this earth was only created once. In those 6 days, He rested on the seventh, but in those 6 days, everything that's here was created in 6 days, and He didn't have to create nothing else. Do y'all see how amazing that is? But that was His C style, because they're planners. Like, He already knew, if I do this, then this is going to happen. This. It's He just cold blooded. All right, but anyway, you know how I am about God. But anyway, so then understanding that, so everyone is not meant to be an entrepreneur, and everybody needs to be okay with that. The world has just glorified and glamorized entrepreneurship, y'all, and it's not all it's cracked up to be. It's not fun all the time. Yes, the freedom is fun, but baby, this is hard work. And if you're not a risk taker and you don't have a high tolerance, you don't turn up that D style, and you're able to make decisions and good decisions, then the entrepreneurial life might not be for you right now until you develop in certain areas of your life. Okay, so then influence. These are inspiring, impulsive people. They are, it's only 11% of people in the world who lead with the I style. Now, they are very talkative, enthusiastic, and optimistic. You get around you're going to know an I. These are the people who come into the office. Hey, how y'all doing? They don't need coffee. They are the coffee themselves. They come in on 10. Life is the high. So if you encounter a person like that naturally, and they come in and they are quiet, or they're not their bubbly self, you know that there's something going on in their personal life, or something else is going on with them. But they thrive on fun experiences and being around other people. If you are this person, you need to know that working alone is going to drain you, because you love to bounce ideas off people. You love to get other people's perspective, because then you gather all of those perspectives, and then you can create your own perspective, and you can create your own narrative. But isolation will kill your dreams. But if you don't know this about yourself, and you don't know this about your spouse, you don't know this about your kids, you don't know this about your friends, you're going to be butting heads and missing one another. Okay? They are motivated by flattery, approval, praise, popularity, acceptance. So what do you think their love language would be? Words of affirmation. Words of affirmation would be their love language. Steady. They are stable, sincere, and sympathetic people. 69% of people in the world are steady, stable, sincere, and sympathetic. These are the acceptance people. These are the people who seek out routine and predictability and safety in their job. In their day to day. So they are the ones who will be at a job for 20, 30 years. They're going to be the ones who retire from the same job, because they like routine. They like consistency. They like stability. I need to know my benefits are going to be here. I need to know I'm going to get paid on this day. I need to know I'm going to get paid this time. These are my duties, and this is what I'm going to do. These are those people. They like to work in environments that are positive and without conflict. So they're going to sometimes butt heads with the D style because the D is like, hey man, come on, let's get it going. Let's get this going. High energy. The S style is not a fan of that. They are not a fan of that person. They are the ones like, oh my gosh, doing too much. Calm down. They the ones listening to smooth jazz in the office, and they have a couch in their office for people to come in and talk. They are very good listeners and peacemakers. So if you need somebody to see both sides and can bring unity and peace into your workplace, to your home and all this, you need to see a steady style person. Or you need to become I told y'all need to be even in every area. What is this situation calling me to be? Do I need to be steady in this situation? Do I need to be the peacemaker? Do I need to listen? Do I need to uh, build a relationship? And do I need to make this situation positive? What do I need to do in this situation? That's part of that problem solving, knowing who you need to become in the situation. All right. And sometimes they could be passive aggressive too. So if you don't know this in your relationship and you wondering why your spouse didn't make your plate today, then it might be something going on that you said or you did that y'all are into it or something like that, because they're passive aggressive. They're not going to just come out and say what the problem is. They're going to show you that they have a problem by doing other things. Okay. But they appreciate showing people, people showing that they appreciate them. That's what they love. Now, compliant, conscientious, they're creative and compliant. They take great pride in their work. They think very logically, analytically, systematically. If you are married to this person and they want you to, okay, I'm gonna give y'all a personal story. So my husband, he's a DC, okay? So when we go in places, before we pull out, and I learned this earlier on in our marriage, even when we were dating, before we pull off, send him the address. Send him the address. Which style do you think that is? Is that the D or the C? If you said C, you're correct. The C, very analytical, systematic. Send the address. I put it in the map. Then I know we can go. I know where we're going. I can look up the best route. Okay, this way got traffic. Hey, I'm like, I know how to get there. Let me just tell you how to get there while we're riding. I tell you, all right, turn left at this light up here. That would drive him crazy. So then I learned, just send him the address. He has a map on his phone. He'll find the way and all those things. So if you're married to this person, to a C style, you need to understand it. It's not trying to conform or trying to make them be your way or be more like you. It's really just understanding them and who they are and what areas or what limitations, what strengths they have, how to utilize their strengths in each style, and then how do we offset the limitations. Because most of the time, if you are opposite or if you're all of us are different in some kind of way, but the ways we're different are the ways that we can strengthen one another. Because when you're different in this area, when you're limited or weak in this area, I'm strong in this area. So we can be a power couple. We can be a power team because what you need, I got. And what you got, I need. Well, we have to learn these things. Logical, analytical. Do not argue based on emotions with these people. Keep the facts there. Present facts. If I were to tell y'all that 17% of people in the world lead with a C style and the number really came out to 14%, then the C style would just discredit everything I've said about about this. But this is real. It is 17% of people. But they would discredit everything I've said about it. They've already added up the numbers in their head. If I said 3% is dominant, if I said 11% is eyes, 69% is steady, they've already added up. Okay, so that means that 17% of C. So that's just how they are. Their drive comes from doing research. They have crossed their T's and dotted their I's. They've already planned it out. So when you kind of critique their work, they can, their greatest fear or their biggest problem or things that kind of trigger them is criticism. And so they try to avoid criticism, but then they could be such a perfectionist that when you do criticize their work, they take it as an attack on their work or them. So that's one of the limitations of the C style. So let me just give y'all a few tips on conflict resolution for the styles. And I know that I'm talking about self-management, but self-management also includes communication. And this is why I'm touching on this, because you need to be able to communicate with others, with yourself, understand yourself, and then be able to communicate with other people. All right. So that's kind of why I'm going into this. So when in a disagreement and you are in a disagreement with a C personality style, you cannot talk to them the same way that you talk to a D style. Respect can be earned in two different ways, depending on the individual. Working with a D style, you can be direct in the confrontation. But on the C style, this will cause them to draw back from you. If you're direct with a C style, then they'll kind of avoid you at certain points. So if you are trying to effectively engage with an I personality style, then you need to start your conversation on a positive note. Start on a positive note and then offering a sincere compliment and then followed up with telling them give them constructive criticism and then sandwich it with close the sandwich with of something humorous or something like that, because they get it, but it's just your delivery in the I style. Now with the S style, they usually are predictable and accommodating, so they may agree with something more than they can realistically handle it. So they kind of overcommit. And you need to understand about this. So kind of try to give them, or give yourself, if you're this style, only commit to what you can commit to. Don't overcommit based on you want to be accepted or you want to help someone, because a lot of times this style they fall into pouring from empty cup, and they usually are pouring into other people so much that they don't pour into themselves. So make sure that if you're this style, that you are committing to only what you can commit to, because then when you don't deliver, or when you're in a situation where you are trying to do too much, and then you're overwhelmed, and then you get burned out and all this kind of stuff, and you're staying up late and all this kind of late, and trying to finish a project that you didn't even really have time to complete without communicating, hey, I'm at my capacity right now. I this is not something that I can commit to at the time, but I will put it on the table for another time. Or it's just a blatant no. But because they try to avoid conflict, they'll say yes. They'll just naturally say yes, but you need to learn to say no. And it doesn't always have to be a conflict. When you say no, no does not always mean you're arguing. Okay? Understand that. If you have a D style, understand that um, in order to achieve positive outcomes, don't let your intensity become aggressive. Challenge your energy towards resolution instead. Because an argument doesn't have to be a win or lose. It's not always win or lose in every situation. And you need to understand that, D-Style. I know you're so competitive, but calm down. It's not always like that. Don't let small issues snowball into big problems. Unresolved conflict can have big issues, especially for S personalities. Excuse me, who y'all thrive on sincere surroundings. So if the workplace, if your relationship, the house is filled with tension, then it can cause a shift in the atmosphere. And a lot of things just take a conversation. And if we avoid conversation, if we avoid communication, we'll lose relationships that we didn't have to. All right. Now, like I said, self-management. I know that was kind of sidetracked on the communication part, but communicating clearly is part of self-management. So, like I said, the pillars of self-management: problem solving, resisting stress, communicating clearly, managing time, strengthening your memory, and exercising. If you're not learning to manage your stress or resist your stress, that's you're not managing yourself well. Because you're going to see stress show up in different areas of your life. You're going to be more snappy, less patient. You're going to be quick to anger. All those things are triggered by stress. It's part of the stress. And we're not taking time to say, what is causing me to be snappy right now? What's going on with me? We're not knowing we have 10 things that we have to do within the next hour that takes 20 minutes each. We don't know that we're not managing our time effectively. We're not managing our rest effectively. A lot of us not even getting the amount of rest that we need. But we try to manage other people. We trying to manage our lives, but we not paying attention. Just going through life, going through the motions, and it's causing us to walk a fine line before we tilt over to the side that's not healthy. All right. Yeah, y'all. So I hope this was helpful for y'all. Got y'all some nuggets about self-managing. Make sure y'all take a DISC assessment. It's very important. Um, I I can't stress it enough. And if you're married, make sure you take one, especially. If you're a parent, take one, especially. Just so you can learn your style and learn what your characteristics are and just be more self-aware. And once you're self-aware, then you can manage yourself. And when you're managing yourself, then you can lead. There's two parts of of managing or leading a team, and it's management is one thing and leading is another thing. Managing, you focus on the results. Leading, you are passionate about the outcome. So if it's passion led and results led. Okay, processes, making sure things are done, and then uh it's managing. I mean, sorry. I believe in this product. I believe in what we're doing. So those are two different areas. But yeah, y'all. Okay, so this one went a little longer, but yeah. Hope y'all have a good day. Go and lead effectively, y'all. Be the champions you were called to be. You were meant to be great, and I want you to remember that in every area of your life. Operate in excellence. Let's go. Bye bye.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. My goal is to help leaders get a deeper understanding of people so they can lead effectively. And I start with them getting a deeper understanding of themselves. Go to www.rakitastarks.com to take your personality assessment today.